Morning, welcome to the next podcast of Andy Collier-talks cricket memorabilia. Bit of a Christmas special this one. We're doing one between Christmas and New Year, so I hope you've all had a great Christmas, and if I forget at the end, I'll do it now and wish you all a merry happy New Year. So anyway, eventually the postman has turned up with some lovely bits and pieces that I ordered quite a while ago, so I'm quite pleased with my Christmas bits and pieces. So we'll start with the Tim Knight's auction stuff, that, as you know, was in November. I finally got these last week with a visit to Mr. Frith, who Tim was going to see, so he dropped them off there. So I'm quite pleased with these bits and pieces. So we've got a lovely card here, Grand Concert, the Canadian and Australian Royal Mail line, and it's the RMS Miawara. And this ship carried the 1905 Australian team between Fiji and Vancouver via Honolulu. It's a lovely concert card here with Monty Noble singing and Clem Hill. Mrs. Newlands, she's done very well and won quite a few games in the sports department, I think, on the trip over. So it's a lovely card there, but it's not actually as it was described in the Tim Knight's auction catalogue. It didn't carry the team to England, only indirectly I suppose, but it was the Majestic that carried them to England from America. So it's a lovely card there from that trip to England, 1905 Australian team. Another one that's caused me a bit of consternation is this lovely photograph here, panoramic photograph of Newlands on the 29th of December 1938, which, as we know, is the timeless test series between South Africa and England. But this one, the dates don't quite line up actually on the back of here, but I'm pretty sure this is actually the test match at Newlands, because I don't think they get a crowd normally for an ordinary match in South Africa. So I'm pretty sure that is actually the test match at Newlands, South Africa, 1938. So nice addition there. Other bits and pieces that turned up, which I'm very pleased with. This is it's a lovely stamp here from the Strathn of Ayr. The Strathn of Ayr actually carried Maurice Tate to Australia in 1932-33 bodyline series. All the rest went on the Orontes, as we know. So that's a nice little stamp there, Indian stamp, that one. And then some nice wrench postcards here. This one of Wilfred Rhodes. Nice good stamp or good postcard there, and that came along with his mate George Hurst. A couple of nice wrench stamps there, postcards, wrench postcards. And a nice one here of Ted Arnold. This is the Worcestershire man. I remember when I had my museum, we had his grandson came into the museum, and it's his grandson or great grandson, one of the two, and he was telling us a few stories about Ted Arnold. And one that stuck in my memory was that the Chief Constable of Worcestershire loaned him a shotgun to go and sort out some debts. So I don't know quite what happened with Ted Arnold there. He obviously didn't go to prison, but he obviously got his money. So a lovely postcard there. This is T.G. Foster from Brighton, and it's on the Plum Warner 1903 side. There's obviously lots more of them. We've got the Warner's Team Series, John Walker and Co. Limited, London. This one, so a nice card there, and that's addressed to a Leeds address there. Some nice bit of social history on there. Another lovely one here is a nice Don Bradman card, which I hadn't got on an Australian Test cricketers card. So thanks to John for posting that off for me. So that's a lovely welcome to the collection, that one there. And then we've got another one here, Lionel Troughton, Kent player, who also went on a 1911-12 tour to Argentina with the MCC. So quite a rare signature there from Lionel Troughton of Kent. I've got a feeling he's something to do with the Doctor Who Troughtons. Anyway, another lovely one here. This is a nice postcard. This is going to the pyramids, Raphael Tuck postcard. It's on board the SS Arama, sent from just before they got to Colombo, when they got to Colombo, should I say, and it's addressed to Sydney, New South Wales. It's a lovely card, that one. It's got the feeling of a oil painting on there as well, so it's quite a lovely car. Goes with some other bits and pieces from the trips over to England. And then three nice cards here come from Andy in Australia. These are the first day postcards of the celebration of the Sheffield Shield 1992. There's a nice one there. We've got wicketkeeper there. That's the I'm not quite sure what that one is, but that's Adelaide, obviously. And then that one there is Spothoff. Then we've got a nice one here with the Christmas scene on there. So three nice cards there from Andy. Thank you very much for those. Nice one there from James Merchant there. And he's going to appear prominently in the CMS magazine this month. So nice one there from James. And then a couple of other bits and pieces that turn up. I've got this nice Records of Your Voyage, which is a little wallet type thing. It's come from the SS Orford, this one, and I'm keeping now in there. I'm keeping some menus that fit in there quite nicely. You've got these sort of Art Deco type menus. These are all off the Orford, by the way, which I've collected over the years. A landfall dinner there, which is quite nice. That's the last official dinner before landfall. So you've got to dress up for that dinner. So some quite nice ones there. Other ones I've got there, At the Equator. And then another one here, that's Australia Day there. So some nice menus there. In a nice little sort of wallet cum booklet to keep the records of your voyage in when you've travelled to England or Australia. And then this lovely book eventually I managed to get from the post office, which is this lovely Monty Noble book by Peter Lloyd. Now I've got through about 7 chapters, I think, but it's rather well researched, I've got to say. Well done, Peter. A man who likes his Australian gold hunters on the telly. It starts off with the gold mine area and going through the lives of his brothers and what have you, and his mother, who didn't have a very nice marriage by the sounds of it. So I'm looking forward to getting to the next bits and next chapters on that one, Peter. So keep them peeled, and I'll do a nice post of it when I finish the book. So plenty of time to read that over Christmas, hopefully. So a nice trip to Mr. Frith, who we know is one of the world's greatest collectors. I've had my eye on this picture for about 20 years when I go and visit him quite regularly. And I finally got a deal with him because he's now selling on his collection. And there's this lovely picture of SS Orford or RS Orford coming out of Sydney Heads, 1930. And there's all the 1930 team sign around the edge there. Lovely, strong signatures. I'm absolutely over the moon with this, I've got to say. We've got Howard, who's the treasurer, and Kelly there, who's the manager, obviously. So I'm over the moon with that, I've got to say. So thank you very much for Mr. Frith for passing that on to me. And that will go with the Oronsay, which brought the team back. They travelled across Europe again, then ended up catching this at Toulouse, I think was the place they got there. So that's another nice one for the collection there, which is I've had quite a long time actually, but that just wraps up the sort of 1930 tour to England, shall I say. And then we've got a lovely magazine, Cricket Memorabilia Society magazine, turned up today, which is full of great information and articles by the likes of James Merchant in there and Jeff Wellstead. Information on the meeting when they had Andy Lloyd and Jeff Miller at the meeting at Derby. And there's a review of the night's auction there, which sold the Trumper catalogue, or scrapbook shall I say, from 1909 that was given to him by Frank Labour. Some really interesting stuff in here. An extra cover and the Derby meeting there with some pictures of the auction that was taking place as well. So it's a thoroughly enjoyable society to be involved in. So if I can encourage you to do that and join in the Cricket Memorabilia Society for your present of 2023, that would be great. I know it's Some great meetings over there in England. Obviously, New Zealand, the Australian collectors won't get to go to the meetings very often, but they're well worth going to. The last one was at Lord's when we had David Smith, Surrey player, and David Frith. And then finally, these two lovely bats are going to wing their way to Australia. These just dropped into me, going off to Andy in Australia. This one is the 64 Australians and Arthur Gilligan's 11, signed there. Some nice signatures on the back there. On the front, this is the back. We've got on there Derby and Sussex, Northampton, Kent. So some great signatures and a lovely condition back there too. Grey nickels. Very nice too. I bet Andy's looking forward to eventually receiving those. Bit pointless sending them before Christmas, I have to say. And you've got another lovely one here of the 68 Australians and a World 11 on there. Some nice signatures on there. We've got on there, see Mohammed, on there, Clive Lloyd, and all sorts of people on there. I have to get the glasses on, I'm afraid. But there's some nice Australians there, and there's some nice county sides on the back there. One there I did notice was, where is it? Christopher Old. Now, I bet he got pretty cheesed off as keep signing Christopher Old, so he ended up with signing Chris Old. So that's quite a rare signature on there for Christopher Old. Some nice signatures on there. Roy Marshall, I can see. Some of them are faded, but it's a nice back there, and I haven't seen that Cullen sign for quite a long time actually. I remember getting one as a nipper of, with that signature on it, or that little label. There's an interesting handle on it too. It's a spiky handle, which I suppose is innovative to give you some extra grip. I've not seen that before, I've got to say. So I'll better be pleased with when he eventually gets these over there in Australia. So anyway, that's the little Christmas special gone, and hope you all have a great New Year's party or whatever you're going to go to, and all the best wishes from here in Mitcham, and have a good year. Cheers.